All right. Welcome, everyone. We are USfanTV. I am Chris, and with me is TJ. Hat guy Pat unfortunately says he will not join us tonight, so we'll see on Sunday. But we're
No,
coming in the heels of maybe not a win, but at least something better than a loss. So I think, as I said in the description, that we kissed our sister. Uh, it's not a terrible outcome, I got to say. I mean, we went to Azteca. We should have scored. We should have probably won. We had the two best scoring chances. So you'd have to say we probably came out looking the better side. But all in
you know,
all, I was sweating. I was sweating tonight so badly. TJ, what were your thoughts?
well, Chris, Pat put something up this morning on Twitter, and he had talked about, do you go with a full lineup, or do you sit back and really kind of throw this one away like we did more or less in Hamilton in January? And my thought was, this is the game you didn't want to put all your eggs in one basket, because
Mm-hmm.
they don't win at Azteca. They
Yeah.
don't. It just doesn't happen. It's at altitude. You have two more games in a week. This is
Mm-hmm.
the game you'd throw away. However, that's Berhalter. Was this his best lineup he could put out there? It's close versus for who's healthy.
Yeah.
But he went for it. It was one of the weirdest games I've seen. But if you'd asked me beforehand, hey, would a point in Azteca, would I take it? I'd be like, absolutely.
Oh,
Having
certainly
watched,
going into this. Yeah. I mean,
having watched
going
how
into not just tonight, but just going into like the entire window, maybe even all of qualification. Yeah.
but now let me get two things out. Number one, going in, I would have said great. Number two, your banner's wrong. It was 0-0.
Oh, shit, you're right. Damn it.
And number three,
I will change that while we're talking.
number
Don't
three,
talk
anytime
away.
number three, anytime there's a draw, I always like to ask the question, does it feel like points won or points dropped? Coming in, like I said, it would have felt like points gained. But the
Yeah.
way the game played out, it feels like points dropped, because you cannot miss sitters the way that they did, in the manner that they did, against a team like Mexico. Like, as much as I've ever watched the U.S. against Mexico, other than maybe Cincinnati in the fall, I don't remember Mexico ever playing this negative of a game, especially at Azteca.
Mm-hmm.
They were not pushing the game; they
Good.
were sitting back to counter.
Positive.
Hmm?
Thinking they were going to, like, yeah, they didn't really seem like they were going to get anything out of it, or like they thought they were going to get anything out of this. And I do think some of that is based on their their generation of players right now. Um, like we were texting amongst ourselves, like the three of us, and I said, Chucky sucks. And that I mean, granted, that's a little bit of an overstatement, but like as I said to you guys, he's Chicharito that passes once in a while, or who passes once in a while. Like that's all he is. And Chicharito, I'm sorry, I was never impressed by. I always thought he was shit. I didn't understand what got him to United. Whatever. I'm not impressed. Andre Squadardo, that guy was awesome. I will
Mm-hmm.
say. I mean, he's getting too old now, but like at his peak, that guy was awesome. I hate to say it, that guy was awesome. Um, Hector Herrera, like not bad. I think they're both vastly better than Chucky Lozano.
Well, I think you're right. This the Ocho has been weird in that sense. As you're
Zach, get
watching,
some sleep. Jesus Christ, 4, 8, 10 a.m. Where the hell are
yeah,
you?
it's it's weird. He's got to be overseas.
I didn't want to count the hours ahead right now while
Yeah,
I'm
it's got
talking
to
and
be
drinking.
it's got to be England, or somewhere over that way. But it's weird watching both Mexico and Costa Rica really kind of fall apart, as during this window.
As
Now I
like
get it.
whole organizations, not just like individual players or whatever, but I mean just complete excuse me, complete teams. It's been I don't know, remarkable.
It has been, and and as we've gone through the Ocho, we've talked about it, and I've been one of them that has been pretty stalwart in defending Greg Berhalter. And I'm going to say it again. Can everybody shut the hell up about Berhalter? 3 wins in a row and a draw at Azteca where you were the better team. There was nothing
Four
tonight.
games, 4 games without a loss to Mexico. That's impressive.
There was nothing he did tonight that I really disagreed with. They played until about the 80th minute, and then you're like, yep, that's about the time you park the bus and look to get out with a point. Because we were texting and we were waiting for CONCACAF refereeing to step in and do
Yeah.
CONCACAF referee
Yeah.
things. And it was, again, one of the weirdest nights at Azteca you're ever going to see. A half full Azteca. Now, I get it. That's the fan ID because of the sanction, because
The
of
fan ID, yeah, and yeah, everything else, but
I get it.
whatever.
I get it. But to see a referee give a yellow for simulation in the penalty area
Oh, I
at
know.
Azteca that late in the game,
Like in the last minute of the game. What? He didn't like. I think I tweeted something about like, oh yeah, get ready. There's going to be a penalty. Like, place your bets. There's going to be a penalty in the 89th minute if the game stays like this. And yeah, to see it was there, and he made the proper call. Like, what? What is going on here?
it's amazing. Is the referee? I know you like to bet. There was nothing you could nitpick. I thought early on when they pulled Pulisic to the ground by his throat, that could have been a red card.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought.
Yeah.
However, that said, if you give a red there, DeAndre Yedlin's getting a red for his slide tackle.
Yeah, maybe.
If you're gonna take away that, you got to take. They would both be red. That's fair. He gave a yellow on one. He gave a yellow on the other. So the referee was not the issue tonight. It's Pulisic missing a sitter, and it's Prefok missing a sitter.
And Pefok missing
a
even
sitter.
worse.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, at least I can understand Pulisic's miss there. Like, it's a bad shot. Nobody should shoot at the center of the goal. But under the circumstances, it's not like he was just sitting there and he had a moment to pause and then like take a shot. He was taking a shot as he's kind of moving and falling. I can understand some things. P Fox, I don't understand. I know.
I don't think
he was looking somewhere else and he just didn't see it until.
I don't think he was expecting it. I think he thought Reyna was going to go with the goal.
Maybe.
And you could argue Reyna should have taken that to goal.
Maybe. Yeah.
The goal was there too for him. Although
if Reyna was a striker, I absolutely would argue that. Since he's not, I will say the striker should be thinking, "Holy shit, I'm going to be in place to score this goal." But yeah. The only way I can explain that is he wasn't expecting it one way or another. So either he looked away thinking something else was going to happen, and then the ball was just coming from an angle he wasn't expecting, or yeah, he thought that Reyna was going to take that, and that's it. But my thing is, at least Pulisic's happened so quickly that I can go, okay, fine. Look, he was shooting, he was putting it on frame. I'm okay with
that said, Ochoa made a hell of a save on it too.
And look, I shit on him, but Ochoa is not a terrible goalie.
No,
so
no, he's not.
I can accept Pulisic's miss. It stands out because there weren't more opportunities. It stands out because there were only 2 opportunities and we missed them both, or at least 2 major opportunities and we missed them both. But I can accept what happened there. P Fox is a little more of a like, Jesus, like, come on, Wando.
That's fair. That's a fair. I'm looking at the stats from the game. Ace is saying Alvarez is constant fouling.
I would agree. That said, I don't know. That shit always happens. It's one of my main issues with officiating, just kind of across the board. It's not even just a CONCACAF thing. It's everywhere. Like, this is the shit I bitch about. Like, when I really get angry, and like one of the things that I really say to like Pat and TJ, like when Arsenal's playing, and I watch like, I don't know, Brentford or Burnley or like one of these like just shit teams come in and just foul constantly, and it becomes that every like what should have been 3 red cards is 1 yellow because they set the standard that this is kind of how we play. I hate that shit. That said, whatever, it happens everywhere. I guess I'm so used to it, especially in CONCACAF,
Hmm.
especially when we play Mexico, and especially when we play Mexico in Mexico City, that it's kind of like today it didn't even phase me. Um,
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of it. But where I would be criticize the referees, there was never a chance, never something said like, "Hey, you need to this has
mhm.
got to be it." And the persistent infringement's a problem. That's why they put that yellow card in place. And they,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's really not enforced. Or else they could have started booking everybody for continuing to hack Christian Pulisic too.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
that was the plan. He got the
absolutely.
ball, you're fouling him.
I do think for as much as like sometimes I'll kind of mock that certain players get favorable treatment, there is something to be said for stars should be protected a little bit because they're why everyone watches and they're the ones that make this shit fun and exciting. And and when and when you're allowed to just smash their ankles every time they touch a ball, oh, it does rob something from the game. Like, I'm sorry, if you were better, you would defend them better, you know? Like, they're a star, they should get to be stars.
But I'll go a different way. Stars need to be stars, true. But I mean, the way the rule is set up, it's persistent infringement, and it can be continuing to foul the same player, or it can be the
Mhm,
same person committing fouls. It is
mhm,
not
mhm.
one or the other. The rule is designed for both. So Pulisic, after the second or third, and after the second foul, I would have gone up and said, "All right, next one that touches him, you're getting booked."
Yeah,
Period. And then you start enforcing it every time
that's
he gets,
probably fair, yeah.
and that's how you do it. You just that, and then you go one there, two there, and you put, and then you show the card, and you move on. Um, that said, other than getting hacked, missing a sitter, for somebody who's been in such form tonight, Pulisic was not.
He was not, yeah. I
However,
posted it
however,
sorry, go ahead.
is it due to the fact that he either got hacked or there were two defenders on him the entire way?
I think there's certainly something to that. I think there's also something to the fact that he feels like he needs to carry the team at times. And either he's not truly capable of doing that or he's putting too much pressure on himself. Like I posted a tweet, something about, what if Reina becomes our number 10? You make like Aronson and Weah the wingers. McKennie becomes the 8, which maybe that's nothing out of the
I think
ordinary anyway.
he already does that. Yeah.
Yeah, uh, but you shift Pulisic to a striker position. Like you make him some kind of 9, even if it's a false 9. You make him something up there, and you let him be responsible essentially just for scoring goals. You just kind of let him play in the final third. He gets to sort of be pretty and score goals when he can. I trust him over any of our current striker crop. And I don't know, like you're taking an awful lot of responsibility off him, which I think allows him that freedom to truly excel. So I think that might be maybe, I don't know, in my opinion, that might be his best role for the U.S.
Ace, I
I saw.
think in this, it says in the, when Pulisic got in space, he tore up the defense. In the second half, I would say he was much better. In the first half, he really was non-existent. Again, I think that was because they put a ton of pressure on that side and said, "Go ahead and let Weah be it." And Weah was doing exactly that in the first half. And it seemed
Mhm.
like in the second half, it was a little more. The defense was spread a little further out, and that allowed Pulisic to have a little more freedom to run. Um, but that said, he for a striker for a forward of quality that he is, he needs to finish what he missed. And
Yeah.
but it's funny, we're going through this. Where did Mexico, other than the one we almost gifted them late, did they really have any serious chances?
No, I mean that's it. Like they didn't truly threaten us, and that's where I think part of it is that maybe we have a bit of a golden generation going, and part of it is that kind of their golden generation is fading.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
Herrera is only still there. Guadardo, I don't did Guadardo even make whatever? Did he even make the 23 tonight? Was he even called up? I didn't check their roster ahead of time.
I'm
Sorry.
looking right now. Jesus Gallardo, yeah, he was in the 23.
No. Andres Guardado.
Andres Guardado, no, he was
I
he
mean, I
was
haven't
not.
been watching. Maybe he's even heard. It's not like I check up
I,
on these things
and
for
I don't
them
know.
ahead of time. But
No,
I mean, in
Jesus
both cases, you're talking about guys who are nearing the end
hmm
of their life cycle or whatever here. Um, but yeah, I just feel like they're kind of where we were maybe
Okay,
4 years ago, 5 years ago, where they they
Guardado's
don't
injured.
have they
Guardado's
haven't built.
injured.
Okay, all right. Well, there we go then. So thanks. Who?
Thanks, Ace. Yep.
Misael. Who? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, it went too fast. It was Ace who said that. Uh, yeah, like they're just kind of at a place where their best players are all aging out, and they don't have the next generation to kind of replace them yet. They're really where we were in probably that last window, and at the same time, I don't know, we have a really promising generation of players coming up, and theirs just isn't as promising.
Which to me
If
equaling as promising as, and as we're getting a little away from it, as the current group is Weah, Reyna,
mhm,
Pulisic,
mhm.
McKinney, so on and so forth. It seems like even behind them, the next 4 years behind them
Oh
is,
yeah, yeah,
it's almost like it's the beginning of something
yeah.
as opposed to a
Like a real
generational thing.
train, not just like being, as they say, a real footballing country, not
Well,
just.
and we're always, the sunnier side of things when we're playing well or winning, but it's easy to look at it and say it, when you make changes organizationally, and everybody likes to rip US soccer, and a lot of the criticism is warranted. However, changes that they have made in their program, you don't see the results for 5 to 10 years
I
after,
suppose that's true. That's
when you're
true.
developing your academy system, and that realistically goes into US soccer's academy system. That goes into saying, hey, MLS, you need to have an
Hmm.
academy system, you need to use it, and that's going to develop those types of players. Those changes were put in 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, and now you're starting to see some results out of it. um
I just saw Bozil's comment. Um, our most informed striker missed one like he was a Bills or Seminole kicker. Well played. That's well
well,
played.
I want to say,
Um,
Jameson O'Connell said lot Chucky was shooting field goals tonight, but that's the wrong sport.
um, Alex asked, sorry, I'm going back to some of these. I've seen some of these go by, but we were
Mhm.
talking. Alex asked, how do you feel about losing Miles, Yedlin, and Weah for the next match against Panama? I mean, not great, but at the same time, what the three of us had been talking about kind of individually, like privately, but then I was posting some of this on Twitter, and Pat had sent some things. I guess kind of we've all sent some things individually, but like I was also sending some stuff out from USFanTV. Um, Berhalter's beaten Mexico with kind of a B team at least twice out of those four times. I think he probably feels like he can beat Panama at home with
Well,
any of the 23 he has there.
okay,
I
so
do question who's going to play right back right now, but
that
um,
concerns me. You have Tyler Adams who can go back. I'm just kidding.
yeah, right.
I'm just kidding. Realistically, I obviously Gio Reyna is going to come on for Weah. I think
Yeah, yeah.
that's going to be a given. Um, I'm
Which
looking through.
also, while we're there for a second, which also surprised me. Why did Weah come out so early tonight, considering he wasn't going to play in the next game? And like, Reyna looked amazing on the ball tonight. I mean, Reyna looked like everything, every bit of promise he's offered when he had the ball tonight. But and part of me thought, even as we were talking about, oh look, like Berhalter's going like balls out, and like he's going all in on Mexico tonight. I did think, well, Reyna's not starting. If we're truly picking a best 11, I think we have to put him in there.
Well, and
So there was a part of me that said, well, I mean, he did hold at least Reyna out. Now, granted, some of that is Reyna's not that far. I mean, he's only what 3 weeks into playing regularly.
yeah, and that was the one in that I was Sam Fells and I were texting or going back and forth on Twitter a little bit. He wanted to see PFOC come on. He saw him, and I said, and he just said, who else really are they not playing? And I said, well, there's Gio Reyno, and he thought, hey, get Reyna a 20-minute run out. Reyna got a 30-minute run out, and then you keep him fresh specifically for Sunday night. And I think that was the plan, to get him a run out, to get him back used to playing at this speed, and then with the physicality, and then get ready for the weekend. Shaq Moore seems like he's going to be the one at right back.
Is there another choice? Like, I'd have to pull up the roster right now to go look and like who could even fill in there. But I mean, there's no like natural right back right now to just throw in there. So either we switch to a back three, I guess. But even then, I don't know who plays maybe the wing.
I think then
unless
it's Aaron Long.
they're doing something crazy like.
Well, I assume Aaron Long will go inside. Will start at center back.
I'd have to. Well, I don't have the roster in front of me to like go through and go like, okay, this is who I think goes next. And I haven't for a few years created one of those like, what are my thoughts on a depth chart as to, okay, here's who is number 3, but he's number 1 over 2 or 3 or whatever over here. And so I'd have to like sit and think about how do you make this up? Because there's no like natural replacement here.
No, there should.
That said, I don't know. Like, I'm not that worried about. I gotta say, I'm not that worried about playing Panama at home. If not for the situation going into tonight, I wasn't that worried about playing Mexico in Mexico City. I'm not that worried about playing Costa Rica in Costa Rica. But I wasn't that worried going into the last bit of the last round or last window of the last cycle, and look how that bit us in the ass. So like I've been nervous for like the last 24 hours. Like it's been like serious.
Did Joe Scally, did Scally come in?
No.
I don't see him I'm looking at the roster right now. I'm not seeing him.
No, because who were the subs?
Aaron Long came on, and Eric Palmer Brown came on.
And
I'm just looking. So Yedlin's out. So like I said, I think Aaron Long's going to start. I think that'll be your starter for Robinson. At right back. Yeah, I don't see. Did Shaq Moore get called in late? I don't see him listed either. So that's a question. I mean, can they call in someone for Aronson? God, I hope so.
I don't know, because was he already accounted for? I mean, I know technically, like when he first got called up, they still thought maybe there was a chance he could play, but was he already considered accounted for before this?
Who's that? You're speaking.
Brendan Aronson.
I'm looking to see. Aronson's not listed
because he was. When was his injury actually announced?
No, he is listed. It was on the weekend. It was Sunday. It was Saturday or Sunday. So
okay.
Okay. Boziel just said Berhalter said post game they're bringing in Shaq Moore.
Okay, all right.
Well, that's likely your answer then. So
yeah, that answers some things. Ace says, "How about Randa dribbling through the whole Mexico team?" That was like messy shit.
Yeah.
And what was crazy, and this is why I think that kid is so incredible, is how easy he was making it look. I mean, much like Messi, it was almost slow motion. Like instead of having to do like 2 or 3 touches to like get by somebody, it was like he just like dinked the ball like 2 feet left, and they went to his right, and he just went around them. Like it was so simple. It was small movements. It was easy. It was simple. It was fast. And what did he go through? 6 guys?
Something
7?
like that. And then it was the 7th got him or something like that. Yeah.
I mean, the thing keeping him from being messy is, he didn't dribble through all of them and then go score. But he sure did dribble through an awful lot of them, and not a lot of guys can just do that. So, especially at what is he now? 20? Is he still? Is he still a teenager?
Unsure.
Anyway, like I don't that was impressive. I can't wait until that guy has been healthy for a bit of time and can truly play. Um,
He will turn 20. He'll turn 20 in November. So he's
okay, okay.
19.
What's up, Raymond? Good to see you.
Yeah.
Um, sorry, I'm going. You can keep talking. I'm going through some of the questions and comments that I missed along the way while we were talking.
So okay, so we'll start. Well, I'll talk a little bit about the standings while you're looking through some comments there. So Canada crapped the bed tonight. So what the result we needed, we didn't get that way. So we can blame Canada, hosers. They're still sitting
Good
on
job, babe.
25. We're sitting on 22. Costa Rica's at 19. Panama's at 18. Realistically, any result with Panama puts us in
Yeah,
at least into fourth.
yeah,
I could, because Panama at that point would be sitting on 19. We'll be on 23. They can't catch us, so we will be at least in the final four. So that, like I said, they will be chasing a win on Sunday. That should help. They can't sit back and defend and do their standard CONCACAF crap.
yeah, yeah.
What do you expect? They're Canadian. Mike, you're not wrong. Mexico's on 22. Costa Rica's on 19. Like I said, Canada's on 25. So it's realistically the final four, and fourth place goes to play New Zealand. So I like anybody's chances there. I'd like to see a result. 3 points and it's done. Obviously,
I'm not sure what you mean. Did you guys see Donovan at Azteca? I mean, like, have we watched him? I'm not sure what that means. Like, no, I've never been to Azteca for a match. It is one of those things that at least Pat and I have had as a goal for a long, long time. It just never worked out. Like, I think.
What? Because we're in the middle of a pandemic.
Well, there was that too, but like going back like years and years and years. First, it was like he got married. Then I think I had kids. Then he had kids. Like it was like we were gonna do this like several windows in a row, but every time a game came up, something big happened and we couldn't go. I wanted to. I know at least one person who went to the game tonight. I've been watching. But even as recently as like a week or two, it was still saying they didn't know how tickets were going to be sold. Like AO, American Outlaws was still saying they didn't have any information on ticket distribution. It was like, well, I'm sorry, I got children and things. I have commitments. I can't just say, oh sure, I'm just going to fly to Mexico in 2 weeks, like in the middle of the week. Like,
And then the question comes: does the again, that realistically, this is the last qualifier at Azteca that's going to matter.
Probably, yeah.
Because the next one we host, and then it'll be 48 teams, and it won't matter. I guess I shouldn't say it'll still matter. It's still the U.S. and Mexico. The game will still matter. It won't have as high stakes on it, but hell, Army Navy plays every year, and there's nothing on the line. That's still a hell of a game to go watch. Give me a chance to go to Azteca to watch U.S. Mexico. Yeah, given the opportunity, I don't care if it means anything towards qualification other than it's another game. I'm still going to go watch it. So, if we beat Panama, Costa Rica beats El Salvador, it comes down to goal difference. Like I said, realistically, if we beat Panama, we're in the Final Four. We will at worst be. If my math is correct, like I said, we're sitting on 22. That'd put us on 25. Panama be on 18. That's over. Even a draw, and I think it's over. Because then
probably so.
23-19. That's a 4-point swing. They can't swing. So we would be at least at worst case scenario in the playoff, going to playing New Zealand.
Yeah.
Now, do we know is that because of the pandemic and compressing things, is that a 2-leg playoff or is that a 1-leg playoff?
I don't know. That's actually a good question. I hadn't even thought of it to go look it up.
Curiosity. I mean, so
it's probably still 2, I would assume, just based on the situation.
Mike,
All right.
Mike,
So what?
Mike is saying 1.
Huh, all right. There we
Yeah,
go.
Oceania has teams dropping out right and left. They're playing their entire tournament. I want to say in Qatar, not in Qatar. But it is in the Middle East. Like it's
Hmm,
might be UAE. It's either Qatar or UAE. They're playing,
huh.
and they're getting to game days, and teams are dropping out because of COVID still.
New
So
Zealand won't, but
what's that?
New Zealand won't be, but
Well, but New Zealand. That said, New Zealand, they're going to make it through. I mean, when the other team's down there, they're
I would think that in a one-game playoff we could beat New Zealand, but
didn't Mexico draw them when they had to play them to go through?
might have been.
They drew them in the first leg and then beat them like 6-0 in the
Yeah,
second leg. It
yeah.
was
Um,
yeah, in Qatar one match, and it's like if you ever want to watch the Oceania play World Cup qualifiers, it's on 11 Sports, I think, which is
so while we are here, I think we've probably covered this game. What do you think for Panama coming up?
like I said, as I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, Panama can't sit back and defend the whole time. They have to come out. They need to win. So they can't sit back and do that standard 10-man behind the ball for too long. It's going to open up it's going to open up pockets of space. That's a game you shouldn't lose that game anyway. You can't lose that game. I honestly see 2-0, 3-0 as a result. So
Being at home, I don't think you're probably too far off. I was trying to check um, what the total goals are, and I have.
goals. Panama is 15 goals for, 14
Yeah,
against, so it's +1. US is 16-7.
I mean, I would say, aside from Canada, apparently this cycle, we can beat anyone at home right now, um, as per usual in qualifying. So I would think that this is going to be no problem. Um, Panama does have something to play for at this point. Like that's always been the issue. Was this last window? It probably was all three teams had something to play for, whereas everyone else we're competing with had at least one game against somebody who probably didn't. Plus,
But
we had to go away for two of them.
that said, Panama had everything to play for. This was their game. They needed points tonight. You're hosting Honduras, and you shit the bed
Yeah,
at
yeah,
home. I mean,
yeah. They're not a good team this cycle.
no.
Maybe some of it is they're realizing, look, we're not going to make it anyway, and so they're sort of folding it anyway. But um, all in all, they're just not a good team this cycle. Like that's I guess been the, if I had to like truly be negative here, the disappointing thing I suppose is that the U.S. isn't already qualified, considering
Okay,
everyone but Canada probably wasn't there, was the
but
weakest they've been in a cycle in I don't even know how long.
and Canada's not at their best anymore without Alfonso Davies. So
Well, that might be true, but like
let's
nonetheless,
let's look at I do want to touch on that. Then thanks for bringing that up. At what point has the United States had anywhere close to their full team?
oh,
Pulisic went out
yeah,
the first ones. Reyna didn't play in the second or third group. Now you
McKinney
don't have
got
Weston
sent
McKinney.
home. What was that? Was that the
Weston
first window or
McKinney
the
got sent home
second?
in the first window. Yeah.
Yeah.
This team if it gets in, would you want to play it at full strength, assuming they can be at full strength, which in such a compressed year, maybe not, but
Yeah. In a year like this, who the hell knows? Um, I do think we can become. Uh, I don't know if it's
Belgium light.
necessarily a dark horse, but I was going to say like a spoiler, because the problem is, because we are a young team, people aren't as familiar with how certain players play. Like they'll know how Pulisic plays. They might know how McKennie plays.
They'll
They
know how
won't
Reyna plays.
necessarily. They'll know some of Reyna, but even he's been out a large part of this season, like for Dortmund. So, um,
Yeah, Misael saying worst case scenario it's the playoff. Yeah, like I said, any result with Panama and they're in the playoff. That
okay.
if my math is right, unless I completely failed math, and no, that's possible. That a result, any result against Panama and they're in the playoffs. So,
No, I mean my hope is we win this game good, like 2-0,
yeah.
and then we kind of just say fuck it. Let's finally try to get a win in Costa Rica,
Well, you absolutely play for
and
a
you
win in
just
Coast.
go for it.
You do it anyway. Why would you not?
Oh, no, I know, but what I mean is like at that point, if we know that we're borderline qualified anyway, like most of the time in previous cycles, we've kind of sat back, and that last game is often like a shit show. I mean, that's how Mexico ended
Costa
up
Rica still has
qualifying.
Calvo. You always are playing to win when you are going against Francisco Calvo. And those who've ever
I
listened to me,
totally
and
agree.
those who've ever listened to me, Minivan Dad, I defended Calvo when he was with the Fire. I have learned the error of my ways. I will be the first to admit it. Man, if Calvo's on the field, you find him and you go at him every damn time. It's a red card waiting to happen. So no, you don't sit back against Costa Rica if you've clinched. You definitely play to break that cycle. I feel you think that was partially in Berhalter's mind tonight? Let's end this now while they're crap
Well,
comparatively.
I think some of it was he had every reason to feel confident going into this that Mexico's not hasn't been showing as well. We've been showing better. We've been beating them even with a B team. What
Hmm.
the hell? And and when you know you probably only need one win out of this window anyway, and you probably feel pretty confident that you can get it, you're going to just say, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just see what happens. Like you got to gamble a little bit, or you can't be a big time coach. There has to be a little bit of a gambler there. So I'm guessing some of it was he was sort of like, fuck it,
Is it?
let's do it.
I followed Twitter enough during the game, but not as normal because I was still trying to get the kids, my girls, to sleep. Was there anything about Berhalter tonight at all? I'm sure there will be because the world hates Berhalter. Or
Well, you
US
mean like
soccer Twitter.
complaining about him or what?
Yeah.
No, no. I mean I don't know. I was texting you guys and I'd post something. I wasn't like watching what everyone else was saying. Bozil on here is Sporkov. This will be like 2020. Excuse me. This will be like 2002 if we qualify. Yeah,
Yes,
no,
and
I tend to agree. I don't agree in that no one knew who the hell we were in 2002. Like nobody, including US fans, truly knew what we had with like Donovan, Beasley,
John O'Brien.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
It's like
No, but the difference that the biggest difference that team had is it still had some veteran leadership
it did
in
have, yeah.
Brad
I mean,
Friedel, in
Friedel and Keller.
Claudio Reyna.
It had Claudio Reyna. For those who didn't see that video this week of some reporter calling Gio Claudio.
And if you're Gio, you take that as a compliment, by the way.
Oh, that was hilarious. Like he sat there, he made some funny face, like, what? Like, are you talking to me? And then he went like, oh, like you could see it dawn on his face.
That might have been one of my favorite texts of the night. You going, did nobody tell Claudio that he needed to have 11 kids so we could have the entire team of Reynas tonight?
I'm sorry, the way he looked on the ball, fuck.
Oh,
give me 3 or 4 more of those, and we'd be like people would be like, holy shit, the U.S. is going to be a fucking problem at this World Cup. Like, people would
Brian,
actually be afraid of
Brian,
us for once.
It's not that Chris doesn't know the 2002 team. Chris is old and he's forgotten the 2002 team. You know, senility does set in at some point.
I was trying to think like I was trying to think of other players there besides O'Brien, because I almost said JMB and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not right. And so I'm like, wait, what is it supposed to be? But while I'm talking, I couldn't think of it. I mean, yeah, McBride had some seniority at that point.
Mhm.
Um, uh, Friedel and Keller.
Friedel and yeah, yeah.
Um, Plus, you figure like all the defenders that we had out of like '98 who were still good.
Pablo Mastroeni, Tony Sana, Clint Mathis.
Marcelo Balboa, who like
Yeah.
I fucking loved as a defender. As a player, I loved him. As an announcer, I fucking hate that guy. I want to punch him in the
Honestly.
fucking face. I hate him so much. But as a player, God, I loved that guy. He was amazing.
Brad Friedel, Eddie Lewis, Josh Wolf.
Oh, Eddie Lewis. I
Alex,
miss
thank
Eddie
you for
Lewis.
mentioning Alexi Lawless. I don't think there's anybody who trolls U.S. soccer Twitter better than Alexi Lawless. All right, what are we pissed off about today? And he's not wrong. But like I said, that the lead off of the show, can we shut the hell up about Berhalter? He's doing the job that he was hired to do.
He's
I'm
earned
tired of hearing
his
I'm
value.
tired of hearing
So
the nepotism part. Maybe they realized he can coach. Is it possible
well,
that
thanks for everybody for showing up because I just realized as I saw a tweet here from Bozio uh, that, or well, whatever, it showed up on my phone, um, that I didn't send anything out saying we were going to do a show. So
well, that would explain why we don't have
now that we
Alex
don't
tonight.
do these regularly, I forget some of, and like Pat didn't show up and things. I forget like the stuff we
Yeah,
were supposed to do.
and I didn't put anything out. Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those. It's a late night. It, it's not as happy as we could be. We're not as static. We're not off the walls bouncing. But like I said, had you started this morning and said, "Hey, we're gonna go down to Mexico. We're gonna go to Azteca and get 0-0," I would have been like, "Okay, I'll take
Yeah,
that."
it
Having
would have
watched it,
totally calmed me all day because I was
yeah,
like kind of jittery. I've been jittery for like the last at least 24 hours, probably 48. Um, as it got closer, and I was like, shit, what if this doesn't go right?
now,
As I was having dinner tonight with my wife, I said, um, my issue is, um, sure, everything's kind of set up. All we have to do is win one game out of three, and one of them's at home, and it's against a not very good team. This shouldn't be a problem. Of course, the last cycle, I thought, oh, come on.
there's no way this
It'll
is
be
gonna.
fine going
We're
to the
going
last
to
one.
Trinidad.
Like,
Come on, that's a
what's the
vacation.
worst that can happen? We have to fuck everything up for us to not make it. And then Panama scored a goal that didn't even go into the net.
The
And this ridiculous, I don't know, Shass bounced off. Uh, like,
Yeah, but again, starting today, had you told me we're going to draw at Azteca and Italy's not going to make the World Cup again, would you
I
have
don't have
taken
a
odds
problem
on
with
that?
that. I will say,
Hmm?
I can live with Italy not making the World
I
Cup.
didn't say I can't live with it. Sorry, Alex. Sorry, Alex. Sorry, Anthony. When you guys catch up with this one, I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just saying. Although, what did Twelman point out today? They've Italy's lost twice. Once to
Yeah,
Spain,
yeah. How about
once to North
that?
Macedonia, and they're eliminated and don't make the World Cup. Have we ever thought about live streaming the game?
Um, we kind of did that one time, but it was just a fuck up on my part, and I was testing whether or not I could get it to go live. So instead, I'm sitting there. I think it's still on the feed because I don't know if I've ever taken it down. And Pat liked leaving it up because he thought it was funny. Where like I'm sitting there just like making faces at the camera, like, "Is this working? I don't know if this is working. What's going on here?"
You know,
And it's that apparently I went live at like halftime of a game. I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago or something.
Mike, you're saying that the odds of what I just posted plus 3,000. I will point out I did put money on tonight's game to get. I put two bets down tonight. One was the U.S. to win. The other was the U.S. to draw. So I cashed on that, which is the same thing I did when we were at Cincinnati too. I put money down to win and money down to draw, just to cover myself. So
We did have an idea for a while, like when YouTube first shit on everything and we couldn't go live. There was like that section of time when we were still doing regular shows, and YouTube like kind of shut us down because whatever. I now I can't even remember what it was called. but the software that was letting us in wouldn't coordinate with YouTube. We had thought about going to Twitch and like maybe playing FIFA live or something while we chatted. And that said, I hate FIFA. I'll say it. I hate FIFA. I don't get it. It's never. Maybe it's because I just understand soccer better. But like, while I enjoy playing, I love playing hockey video games. Um, I can sometimes enjoy playing football video games. I've really enjoyed playing rugby video games. I hate playing FIFA. I hate playing soccer video games. I feel like, wait a minute, I want to pass to this guy, but the fucking screen won't let me see where this guy is. I'm like, this fucking
You're
sucks.
not
No, I don't.
you're not wrong. The only reason why I like playing FIFA is I like to grab anybody who knows me knows I love the lower leagues. It's just grabbing somebody off the bottom of Germany, the German third division or whatever, or English fourth, and just saying, all right. Or taking, I think I've taken an Irish team and won the Champions League. I mean, to me that's fun. And then it's always which Americans am I going to go get to add right away? I think on I have Crawley Town with I think with Tyler Adams on it right now. So to me that's always the fun part of it. EA Aussie rules game circa 9. No, Mike, I'm not that old. Well, I have never used Accrington Stanley. I've used Forest Green Rovers and I've used Crawley Town out of the English, and Dagenham and Redbridge and Lincoln City if you want to go back to earlier versions of
TJ loves Dagenham and Redbridge.
Yeah, because they had the smallest budget on FIFA 2011 or whatever. So that was the year I was living in Arizona. I had nothing better to do. So all right, we've killed this one off. So
I think we have
the answer. Are we going to do a live stream during a game? There are certain things in life you don't want to see, and that's Chris watching a U.S. game. There are just certain things in life that are just. If you want to see actually
the Panama game, I can actually go watch out live in a bar. I don't think I'll have kids or anything. I think I can go watch it. So
Sunday night, I'll be in St. Louis for that. So I may need to find a bar.
That case, I know where you can go, but
yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, like that one, I don't think. Shit, but we may do a show a little late. We definitely can't do one during the game. Costa Rica game. What is that? Tuesday?
It's Tuesday. Hey, I'll let me check. Hang on, we got that. 8:05 Tuesday. Class ends at 9. I'm in class Tuesday night, so I could do the second half. That'd be about it. Chris needs to drive to St. Louis for the Sunday game.
I mean, if I
it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Never mind. Wednesday, 8:00.
Wednesday.
I've got nothing.
I'll have kids here, but
put them to bed.
Maybe,
well, yeah, maybe. I'll have kids that are awake yet too. So
yeah,
but it's spring break. I don't care if they stay up.
That's this week. So all right. Well, anyway, we've reached the end of this. So
yes, we have.
Last words, TJ?
No, thanks to everybody for hanging out, even though we didn't promote anything, for all the comments. Tonight was fun. It was unexpected fun watching the game, getting a result. It's been a good night. So that's all I've got, Chris. What about you?
I have nothing else. So you are done. We are USfanTV. You know where you can find us at this point because we didn't even post anything tonight, and you guys showed up.
Y'all showed up anyway.
You guys know where to find us. So yeah, when we're here, you're here. So thank you. We appreciate it. I know nothing else to say. I'm not going to give you any more spiel because you've seen it all. So
we'll see you all Sunday night.
See you Sunday. You're done.